Okay, so part 2. This is part 2. I had to do a double upload for y'all because I explained in the last video, but anyway, yeah. Bet she doesn't touch like me. Sure as hell don't fuck like me. So this is Vlogmas day 29. So this is part 2 of the last story time. If you haven't seen part 1 of the story time, in order to understand, you have to go and watch the other story time, part 1. You have to. So yeah, so anyway, so after I text stop, it did stop for some time, and then maybe like a few weeks or whatever, and then I think the next time we seen each other, we just acted like it didn't happen, like whatever. But I did mention to my mom that that was him that had sent me flowers. At first I didn't, because I didn't want it to be awkward, and I didn't want my mom to mention anything, because then it would be awkward for me. So at first, for a while, I didn't mention it, and then I think I got upset about something. I think I had got upset because he was like back to acting like, okay, I'm not gonna give up. And then I think that I had told my mom or whatever who the flowers was from, and my battery's dying. But anyway, so yeah, okay. So the next time, alright, so he used to do like these little acting things or whatever, where he used to act. He wanted to be a rapper and an actor, whatever the case was. He used to write these little scripts, whatever like that. Okay, so he used to have me come over like his house and like act out certain things for certain parts, to see how it sounded, to see how it looked or whatever like that, to put this to a face and whatever like that. So I helped him, because mind you, that was like my brother, whatever the case was. So I used to help him all the time. So I was doing this since I was like young, whether it was like doing a little ad-lib or something, or saying something on one of his records and things like that. Like me and my sisters always used to like help him and things like that. So now he invited me over to his house to act out some scene, or to help him practice for some scene or whatever that he had put together. So basically it was a love scene, but he didn't tell me until like I literally read it. And it was like a love scene or whatever between two people, and it was just like, you know, just talking back and forth or whatever. So I'm like, okay. So we were acting it out or whatever like that, and like literally, like, this nigga was so freaking creepy. Like, now looking back on it, like, you watched me grow up, now you're inviting me over to do like little love scenes with you, and he like literally purposely picked out these scenes for me to act out with him, because he wanted me to like act it out with him, you know. So it was just like, now looking back at it, like, shit is so creepy. Mind you, I was like 18 at this point. Like, I just turned 18. So I remember we acted out the play, whatever, and then at the end it said they kiss or whatever like that. So I'm thinking like, okay, like, we just gonna get close, we're not in front of nobody, like acting it out to where we're about to get a freaking acting gig or acting career or whatever. So people act out things all the time, and then when it says they kiss, it's just like they act like they're kissing, or they come close, or they hug, or they just literally sit there until it passes, and then they say the next lines, whatever. So when that part came up, like, we literally like got close, like he got like really close to me, and then we got like close, and then it was just like okay, scene, like, you know. And then he like literally like tapped my lips with his, and I was just like, okay, that was fucking weird. But I didn't really look at it as nothing, because it was just like, whatever. I didn't look at it as, yeah, he wanted this, yeah, he did this on purpose or whatever like that. Like, I didn't really look at it like that. It was just like, whatever. But now this is where it got a little tricky, because it was like, in order for him to stop like trying to pursue me as his girlfriend, he basically basically I had to like bark on him, like, no, like, this is not happening. Like, I really like had it out. Like, I didn't even care if after this conversation shit became awkward between us. I didn't really care at that point. So it was just basically like I had to bark on him, tell him about himself, just for him to stop. And then I guess when I had barked on him, obviously he didn't like that, and he went and told my cousin, who he was supposed to be messing with or dating at the time. He went and told her that we kissed. What? So now I got my cousin on my tail asking, oh, why would you hook me up with somebody if you're over there kissing them and this and that? And I'm just like, whoa, that's not even how it went. Like, are y'all serious? And I tried to explain everything that happened, and this, that, and the third, and try to tell her like, listen, this guy has been out to get me, like sending me flowers, sending me this. I'm like, I will email you the email that he sent me, certain songs that's about me, like just like really becoming like really obsessed with me. Like I told him plenty of times, like, no, like you're not my type, I'm not interested, you're supposed to be a brother to me. Even if I was interested, I would never in my life, you know, like. So now I have to explain to my cousin, and then I have to continue to fight you off, and now I'm telling my parent and my sisters, and I'm telling everybody, because it's just fucking ridiculous. So now I'm gonna put you on blast. I don't care how this you know, this relationship works or continue to work, you know. So it just like really got out of hand, and then it was just like how could someone like that, so you're so close to, do some BS like that? Like literally gonna tell my cousin that we kissed. Like we had a full-blown makeout session and I wanted to kiss him, and are you dumb? Like no. So okay, so that was like, it was, for me, it was just like points adding up, like for me to like cut this guy off. Like I don't care about no older brother, older sister, little sister type situation, relationship. Like I don't care if you cool with my parents. At this point I was doing my own thing anyway, and I was in and out the house, never really even in the house, and like if I don't see you, I don't see you. So like at this point it was just like, if I don't see you, I don't see you. Like that's not my problem. Like it doesn't really faze me. So I remember, I don't even know how we kind of like got over everything, but like I said, I don't really hold grudges. It's like, it is what it is, whatever the case was. It had eventually stopped. So I had a friend, let's just say her name is Sarah, and she was like into music or whatever. So Willis, like I stated earlier or in the last video, that he was into music. So Sarah will always complain to me like about how guys wouldn't take her serious because she had like a nice body or whatever, she had curves. So every time like she would want to do like a collab with someone or try to buy beats or whatever the case it was, like it was always a joke. Like guys always wanted something from her, or they wanted to sleep with her, or you know, they wanted to use her, whatever the case was, or they wanted to date her. Like it can never just be strictly business or whatever. So I was like, you know what, I actually have a friend or whatever that's into music, and he's just like really cool or whatever. So, and I don't think that he would do that. So I want to introduce y'all, whatever. So I feel like this situation really kind of got us back on like talking terms. So I introduced her to Willis. Like I brought her to Willis's house or whatever, and they both smoked, so they had something in common or whatever. So you know, they was talking about music or whatever the case is, and they exchanged numbers. And then like I felt good because I felt like I helped both of them out, because she was an amazing singer and he was doing whatever the hell he was doing. So whatever. So after that, you know, they exchanged numbers or whatever, and then I guess they started talking about music outside or whatever the case was. And then like I used to work with Sarah, so it came down to the point where like our shifts were off and we wasn't really working like that, so I wasn't really hearing from her like that. So but we would text like here and there, whatever like that, and she would keep me updated, you know, with what's going on with the music and just about life or whatever. Sometimes we would hang out here and there, whatever, but she became like really busy or whatever. So I remember one time she hit me up, and it was maybe like a few months after like I had introduced them, and I was asking like, oh, how's it going, did you guys record anything, whatever like that. And she told me like, oh, he has issues, he's like really jealous, like I don't know what went on or what kind of confusion he has going on, but basically like he acted just like she explained to me, like with the other guys wanting something from her, but he did it in a more friendlier way, where it's just like, yeah, I just want to be your friend, but clearly he was like interested. And then like he was like treating her different. One time they went to the movies, or like he invited her to the movies, and she was like, okay. And then she told her friend to come, and he got mad because she brought her friend. And it's just like what, we're cool, we're friends, like why do you care if, you know, I invited my friend? Like it's not on that type of time, and like we're just cool, like, you know, like we're supposed to be working together and that's it. Like if we want to take a break away from work to go to the movies, cool, no problem, that's fine with me, but it's just like, don't cross the line, you know. So I just feel like he, like from what she said to me, he basically started crossing the line and just like made me feel stupid, because it's like I literally like was promoting him and saying, oh, he's not like that and this, that, and a third. when I should have just looked at my situation with him, and I should have just been like, yeah, yeah, I'm not gonna do that, because their situation went sideways to the point where, like, I think she had to bark on him too, and it was just like, yeah, this is not gonna work. And literally when she told me that was literally like the last straw for me. And I was just like, you know what, he got me out here looking stupid, he don't know how to act, he doing dumb stuff, like, you know what, that's it for me. Like, I'm done. Like, there's too many signs pointing to I don't need this person in my life. And I think at that point my mom and like my sisters, like, nobody was really messing with him like that anyway. Like, maybe here and there he would come over and it would be cool or whatever, but in terms of like seeing him every day and hanging out with him, like, nobody was really messing with him like that. So it was just like whatever. So I remember I was at work and I called him and I just went off on him, like barking on him, like, you got me out here looking crazy, looking stupid. He tried to lie and say that my friend was lying and all of this stuff, and I'm just like, why would she lie about that? Like, clearly you made her feel uncomfortable, blah blah blah, whatever the case is. And I just basically just like voiced my opinion. I maybe said it in a nasty way, but I was just like really pissed off. And I remember hanging up on him and I blocked his number. And then I remember getting like voicemails from him. Basically, like, he was like crying, it sounded like, and just like, oh, you know, she's lying, seriously, talk to me, call me, text me back, whatever the case is. And I was just over it. And after that, like, we hadn't really talked for maybe like a few years actually. And I actually had seen his best friend. I had worked at a restaurant and his best friend had came into the restaurant to eat. And then when he was leaving, he was like, hey, he was like, what's going on? And then he mentioned Willis. And I was like, oh, okay, like, how's he, you know? And then it was just like, oh, he's good. And I was like, you know what? I was like, give him my number. And just me, the type of person that I am, like, I don't really want to have no beef in the world. Like, I'm the type of person that if we weren't meant to be friends, then that's fine. But let's just squash it here, squash whatever issues we had, and let's just move on with our life. If I see you, I'm going to say, hey, what's up? And then keep it moving, you know? So I was just like, oh, give him my number, because I really felt like we had a lot to talk about and a lot to squash. Like, it was years later. Like, I'm older, I'm wiser. Maybe I still felt bad about how things ended and how I came off. And I came off nasty. And it was just like, you know, whatever. Hold on, y'all. No. I was getting a call, but they stopped calling. Whatever. Anyway, so yeah, so it was just like, whatever. So damn, that threw me off. Damn, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. So yeah, alright, so his friend gave him my number, and I remember he hit me up, and it was just like, okay, like, hey, what's up, like, I missed you, what's going on? And then he, like, we never honestly really talked about the past. I remember the only thing that he really stated was, he was like, I made a song about your friend Sarah, and he was like, I'm gonna send it to you. And then he asked me what's my email, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. And he sent this in my email, I listened to it, and it was basically just saying, like, Sarah's a effing liar, and she came between us, and blah, blah, blah. And I honestly wanted to respond and say, like, honestly, you came between us, like, you know. But I was just like, oh, wow, that's crazy. And it's just, like, at that time, like, I was still friends with Sarah, and I was friends with him as well. And it was just, like, I was kind of playing, you know, both parts. And then later on, my son had a graduation party, and I realized that I invited both of them, and I was like, shh. And then the day of, I told him that I invited her, and then I told her that I invited him, and I think they seen each other that day. And it was just like, whatever, like, hey. And then she did her thing, went over there with the kids, he did his thing, he was over there with his kids, you know. And it was just like, whatever. So, whatever, people was just cordial, and then that was it. But then, like, so we kind of got, like, close. It wasn't back on terms, like, of him being my older brother, but I feel like he was kind of, like, pushing for that. And then that's when the whole job opportunity in New Jersey and things came about, because he lived in New Jersey at the time. He was there for a few years, raising a family there, building a family there, and everything like that. And then so that's where the job opportunity came in. And I don't know why, like I said, the devil works in mysterious ways. Me going through all of this with this person, and then trusting them, trusting that they're gonna, you know, have a job opportunity for me and it's legit, and that they're gonna take care of me and make sure I'm good and all of this. And then I moved to New Jersey, and then he wound up screwing me over for no freaking reason, which I really think the reason why he screwed me over is because he couldn't afford to pay me anymore, because he thought that his business was gonna be booming, and it wasn't. And I think that he just kind of found excuses to kind of like just let me go, like, because it was literally like too late for him to say, okay, no, stay in Brooklyn, like, we gonna figure it out. Like, and then when it's like legit time for you to move here and I can really afford it, then we'll figure things out, and I'll have you move here and this, that, and there. I was good with my life in Brooklyn, and I was like chilling. Like, I loved my job at the time. I was in school, I was doing my thing. Like, I had a boyfriend, we were good, my son was good in school, and it was just like, he messed it up by me taking a chance thinking, okay, I need a change, when there was nothing wrong in my life. And I took a leap of faith and just, you know, just leaped and trusted a friend. So like, the devil really has been working hard on me, like, for the past, I don't even know how many years. And I just really like hope for like a prosperous 2020. Like, honestly, I feel like I deserve it, you know. And I just hope that from now on, like, I just attract great people, great positive motivating people into my life, you know, and I just move forward from there, like, honestly. So I don't know, but yeah, so that was the story time. And another thing, I'm not friends with Willis today or Sarah. So yeah, I hardly have any friends. But anyway, yeah, so that was my story time. Basically from start to finish with this person, and the things I had to go through being this person's friend and taking up for this person and giving people the benefit of the doubt. Some people are just not worth that benefit of the doubt. Like, just stop trying, just give it up. Stop feeling bad for people. Stop having a pity party. Like, everybody is in this shit for themselves. That's what we really gotta sit here, sit back and learn. Like, everybody's in it for themselves. Nobody cares. Like, I tell my son that all the time, and I think it's maybe a little harsh to be telling an 8-year-old, but I tell him all the time, like, why are you crying? Nobody cares, you know. And it's just like, of course I care, but I just feel like it's important to instill certain things into your kids as they're young, because when they go out into the real world and they start crying at the age of 13 or 14, it's just like, people are gonna look at you like, why the fuck, like, what are you crying for? Like, you're how old? You know, like, nobody cares. Or they're gonna laugh at you, and they're gonna point and laugh at you. So if you know that nobody cares that you're crying at this age, you know to stop crying, because nobody literally cares. Like, you know, I don't know, call me harsh, whatever you want to. But anyway, that is Vlogmas Day 29, I think. And but anyway, yeah, I'm gonna see you guys during Vlogmas Day 30. Holla back, youngin'. Woo woo. Alright, later, y'all.